Hello, everybody. Hey, I hope you guys all had a great Thanksgiving and was able to get with some of your family. I was able to get with most of my family. As the kids get older, it's just hard to get everybody together all at once. So we're just thankful for the people that were able to show up and enjoy the day with. And now we're on to Christmas. So, what a good time of the year to get a grip on your relationship with Jesus Christ. I've noticed at the many different churches we've gone to and looked into and searched that many of them, if not most of them, have different idea of who God and Jesus Christ are. So in order to have a relationship with him, you first have to get it figured out what you believe he is, what you believe he isn't, what you believe he will do, what he won't do. Personally, I don't think this is a heaven or hell issue where you need to fight with people and think that you're right. If you're a Christian and you think Jesus Christ and God are all the same, all in one, or whether you pray to Jesus and God as separate beings, I think when we all get up there, it's going to be pretty apparent. And I don't think he's going to send somebody to hell because they thought one way or the other. But you still need to figure out what you believe, because how do you have a relationship with somebody when you're not even sure what you believe he is or what he can do and what he can't do? There are people out there that are pushing the fact that there is no God. So we'll address that in just a minute. But I did hear a speaker. His name's Wayne Dyer. He has passed away, but I loved listening to him. And he said for the people that don't believe there's a God, that it's like walking into a junkyard full of stuff, just junk. It's a junkyard, right? And having a hurricane-like tornado wind come blowing through the junkyard. And when the wind is through, there's a beautiful Boeing 747 sitting there. So that's what you're saying, is that's not impossible. How do you think this world was created? How do you think it keeps going? And they have their ideas for you. But if you look at it, and he said this too, he's like, man has not even been able to make an artificial eyeball. And God makes how many eyeballs a day for people? And that's not even counting the animals and the flies. And, it's hard. So what I try to tell people, and they don't like this either, so that's fine. But when you want to say that I don't believe there's a God, I truly believe that what you're saying is, I don't believe the way the Catholics are portraying God to be. I don't believe the way the Mormons are portraying God to be. I don't believe the way Christians are portraying God to be. So if you want to say that, then you're absolutely right. Because they all portray a very different God. And they just don't know. They just don't know. So, I don't know. If you want to believe there's not a God, I just don't think that this is channels for you. Because there has to be a supreme being. There has to be. There's just no way this little ball of dirt's floating around in space at the right, distance from the sun and everything else. There's somebody that's in control up there. So maybe if you do think you're an atheist and you don't believe in God, maybe look at this. What you're saying is that I don't believe in the God I've been taught. And maybe go from there. That's all I do. So in reading scriptures, in searching out, in really coming to grips with who you believe God is, do you believe God needs you to do certain things? Do you think God is willing to do things for you? Do you believe God is a vengeful God? Do you believe he's a loving God? You really need to get this figured out in your head before you start pursuing a relationship with him, because you need to know what that relationship's going to look like when you finally feel like you have one. So my thought to you is to pray. Read your scriptures if you want to, and then pray, and then think, and then watch. I was listening to a guy this week that is like, you want to know if God's there? Throw out hey, if you're real, have this happen, or if you're real, do that. And I'm not saying it always works, but it works sometimes. So I don't know what to tell you. But like I said, if you don't believe in God, this channel's not for you. We just need to be very clear within ourselves. And I'm not going to tell you who God is, and I'm not going to listen to who you tell me who God is. And like I said, this God being 1 and 3, 3 and 1, 2 separate, 3 separate, honestly, I don't believe that's a heaven or hell issue. So don't fight with people about things like that. It's negative. You don't need any more negativity in this world. So for this week, I want you to maybe even journal, maybe even just sit and think, maybe even just pray, maybe meditate. I don't care what you do. But let's get a very firm footing on who we really believe God is and who Jesus Christ is. And then we'll move forward from there. So have a great week and good luck getting ready for Christmas. I'll see you next week.